Hi! Welcome to my little series of videos about this video clip I made on the Commodore 64 using the BackBit cartridge. Now, it runs at about 6 frames per second with digital audio, and it took me over a year to do, but only a few weeks of actual work because, there's a lot of screwing around and stuff. But I'm done. I'm satisfied with what I've done. And I learned a lot about digital video, well, sort of digital audio, the BackBit cartridge, and it made me expand my horizons a little bit, dealing with the SD to IEC a bit, a little bit on Windows, yuck. And yeah, this project with the BackBit it reinvigorated my desire to program on the Commodore 64. And wow, I had a great time. This was one of the most challenging things I've ever done, even though it's just a simple video. But to me, it's a lot of work and it represents something fun. I mean, I took my new favorite cartoon and made a little clip of it, and that plays on the Commodore. And there's something by my head. Yeah. Oh. So anyway, what am I trying to say here? What you're about to see is a series of videos that show what I've learned, what I've tried, experiments I've done, roadblocks I've hit, and all in all, I've tried to document a bunch of stuff. So I hope you find it interesting because, otherwise I kind of wasted my time. But honestly, it just started out as me documenting what I was doing for myself. And then I quickly realized that, I might want to show other people. So yeah, I ended up grabbing my phone a lot more than I probably should have. But you're here, so we might as well get at it. But first, let me, look how majestic I look. Okay. Let's start at the start. Now, a couple of years ago, Jeff Birt put out a couple of videos, and there's the thumbnails for them, about DIGIs on the C64. And wow, it was something I've always wanted to know how to do. And with his help, I was able to do it. I didn't do it, but I knew I could at some point in the future. And around that time, the BackBit was gaining traction, and it was, I watched a few videos about it, and for the most part, I wasn't overly impressed because, sorry, the vents are kicking in, so there's clicking, but I wasn't crazy impressed about what it could do, except for that one thing, and there it is. The fact that you can attach up to 4 gigabytes of data to a BBT file and access it from the Commodore. That is crazy. And not only that, you can pretty much load it practically instantly because of how the BackBit works. You're queuing up data. You can read it as fast as the processor can bring it in. It's amazing. So, I was debating between this and a RAM expander that's on eBay. So I asked the eBay fellow, hey, how do you program this thing? And crickets. Didn't hear back. But I did sign up for the BackBit forum, and I asked Evie, the creator of this device, about, a few things that I wasn't sure about this extended memory. And the conversation kind of went like this. I asked questions. She gave answers. I asked more questions. She gave more answers. And at that point, I was satisfied. She had me sold. I bought the thing. And then I just left it in a bag for a year. And then, in the summer of 2021, I kind of got rather hooked on this new cartoon. I just discovered it. It's, kid stuff, but hey, I love it. It's got wolves and they talk, and that makes it lots of fun for me. Anyway, so a few months pass, and then I realized it's hey, I remember one of the things the BackBit can do. It can play koala images. So I went out and I found a few koala converters, or like, it takes a JPEG or something and makes a quali file. But anyway, so I did that, and the results were not very good at the start. It kind of sucked, but I ended up finding a RetroPixels, I think it's called, which coincidentally was one of the ones that Evie suggested, and it was great. And so there they are. And I found that, to my surprise and delight, cartoons worked better to make quality images than actual photos. Who wants to look at me anyway? So, and then it hit me. Wait a second. What if I make a bunch of koala pictures and integrate the digital audio that I learned from Jeff Birt? Wow. I could make a little clip of my cartoon on the Commodore 64. There it was. That was what I wanted to do. That's my new project. It's like, yes, let's dig this machine out of the boxes it was in. I guess it was packed up or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I put in my BackBit. I tried a few things, and then I started experimenting with it in earnest. And that's where our tale begins. Yeah. So, without further ado now, except for, looking how majestic I am. Okay, sorry. Let's get to it. And here we go with my first test of the extended memory on the BackBit cartridge. Ready? Let's watch. This is my first test, working test of extended memory on the BackBit. I just made a BBT with Genesis from the Bible and a crappy little program that kept fetching new pages from the extended memory and displaying them on the screen. It works. And I also found out how to make a blank file of any size on Windows. So there's my scratch pad. This is going to be awesome. It's a little faster now, but I'm kind of cheating. Oh yeah, they work together. I also have a little what's-a-doodle counting all the characters. It's supposed to be like something like 260K when this is done. I'm going to find out. It's not quite working yet, but I think I know where I'm going wrong. Using the same buffer here, so obviously there's going to be corruption because it's possibly changing the background and the color settings and all that crap. I need a flip back and forth, 2 pages of course, or 2 frames at least, maybe more if I want to actually have a buffer in case the SD card is a slow read. That was my plan originally, but I just had to hack this out tonight to see if I could actually get this thing to start displaying. It's pretty cool, eh? And there's the start. This video, well, whatever, takes 3 minutes 13 seconds to play through. I'm using some pretty inefficient routines. The actual video only plays in 2.5 minutes, so obviously I need to improve this. I was going to. I have a lot of stuff on paper, but it's going to have to change based on what I learned tonight. And I also have to get the audio to play. That is going to take a lot of cycles. Interesting, though. I can't wait to make this work. Something to note here, I am queuing up the BackBit information for every frame as I get it. And that's the gray area you see on the borders. It takes about, well, it says 40 milliseconds in the instructions, but in actuality it takes about maybe 90 raster lines. It's pretty fast. So my hope is queue up one frame, grab like 4 or 5 in a row, store them into different memory buffers, and then you can go get some audio and then come back to video once you need more. So you're not waiting on the delay, which is what this is doing. That gray area is complete wait loop just to make sure the cartridge is back with my information. Yeah, boy is this exciting, eh? What a little beast this thing is. Look at it go. And this thing's feeling sorry for itself. I keep playing this thing because it's pretty cool. Anyway, something to note here. Because of how a qual is constructed and my lazy code tonight, I'm simply copying 10,000 bytes, well 10,001 bytes in a row, and then I'm putting the video matrix into place and then the color into place. So there's extra copies that don't need to occur. The color RAM does need to be copied from, a buffer to the color RAM when it's time to be shown, so you don't get some color glitches. But the screen RAM, I am moving from one place to another every frame, and I don't need to do that. I should load it directly where it needs to go. But because of how this is constructed, I need better code than what I have tonight. Still trying to tweak the faster player. Interesting, every flash here is a different frame, but obviously you can't see much. I'm just timing it. Will I have enough time to introduce the sound at this point? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the reason it's all corrupted here is because I have a different section of code that copies the screen RAM and the color RAM now to 2 different banks, video banks, but I don't have them offset. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Well, something like that. Okay, you got it. So right now, things are not working. Well, these parts I know. Right here, that stuff, and these stuff. Those the destinations need to be changed, or the whatever, something does. But anyway, at the moment, what you see here, oops, hard to do with one hand. Here we go. This takes longer than it should. I think probably twice as long. I think frames are being doubled. That's only one of the 2 problems that I have to solve in this next run. You ready? Can you kind of tell? Can you make out a wolf there? There he is. I see a snout. Okay, now enough of this. I believe that line in white was the only thing that was missing for the double frame issue. So here we go. Let's try one more time. Now it's really hard to tell how much faster this might be. Back to work. Okay, I haven't tested this for the first time, so you're with me on this. I believe, well, I see a flaw. I see a definite flaw in this because it is like, it'll copy these, and then, well, it can't copy this because that's part of the bitmap. So it's crap. But part of the screen should be correct. Here we go. Oh, that's so not right. Isn't debugging fun? Once again, I added the lines in white. I think I forgot to do it for the second buffer. Here we go. You ready? Crap. LOL. I made a couple of small corrections, but then I also noticed this because, check that out. That is the 31st page of the bitmap. I had it queuing up to 32. So this will sort of work, I bet. Once again, you're the first one to see it. So there'll be some corruption chunks here, but most of it should be fine. And I have it all rendering just to one buffer because I'm trying to pin these errors down. Here we go. Come on, Wolfie. He's looking better, isn't he? Oh yeah, we're getting there. Here's another little correction. I had all three of these set to 0, that address there, which is the beginning of the BBT file, or that BackBit extended memory section, but it begins with the load address of the first picture. I forgot to skip it. Alright, you watch this? Well, check it out. Even better, eh? Oh, obviously, I still got some bugs. Okay, back to work. I made a few little corrections, and then I noticed this. This should improve things even more, but it still needs tweaking because of, yeah, shut up. Oh yeah. While with the Super CPU, we do get these chunks of interference. I got a feeling it's actually writing to the screen ahead of itself, so there's old information there or stuff that isn't valid. I don't think it's incompatible with the BackBit, except the Jiffy DOS wedges don't work well and it kind of chokes on a bunch of stuff because they kind of fight. But once I get the back and forth buffers done, I got a feeling this is just going to play fast. Look at it go. Correction. Even in slow-mo, look at this. Chunks of trash. That. Let's disable the Super CPU. Try again, see if it's there. Disabled Super CPU, and sure enough, we do not see the chunks of interference. It's incompatible somehow, just a bit. Doesn't matter because that Super CPU is so bloody rare anyways, it's not going to become a thing. BackBit has the potential to.